Good afternoon, villagers. This is Arnie, and you're watching Pepper Tree Villa. It's time for your daily dose of Disney. How are you doing, everyone? Hope you're all doing well. It's been quite a day around here at my office. I don't know if you can hear it, but right now there seems to be some kind of pressure valve that's being released. I'm not exactly sure what they're releasing. Could be sarin gas. Not sure about that. I doubt it. I really do doubt that. I'm sure it's some kind of like water or vapor or something that they're releasing right now. Hi, Pam's fam. Thanks for joining. It's good to have you here. Zachary, thank you for joining. Hello, Mike Wheeler and Rachel. Thank you for being here. Oh, wow. What a day in history this has been. September 11th, of course, we all know that day. Anyone that is, old enough to know or actually experienced it personally, September 11th is a very, very hard day to go through at times for a lot of people. PTV fan club. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you so much. We're going to touch on a lot of that today because that day in 2001 did affect Disney deeply. It's what happens when you are public facing the way they are with theme parks and the like, stores, everything. Oh, thank you so much, Rachel. I appreciate that. I'm glad you like it. I'm fond of it too. And it goes well with my lanyard. So here, take a look at this. See the lanyard that it goes with? I like it. I think it works well. So anyway, let me get a little bit angle on that better. There we go. That's a little better. So, September 11th, this day in Disney history. Let's go ahead and get started. Now, on this day, let's go back to 1984. Prior to that, there were a lot of like births and deaths and things, but I decided not to cover any of that because of the significance of this day. So, in 1984, on this day, Ray Watson, who was the chairman of Walt Disney Productions, and Phil Hawley, a senior director at the time at Disney. Oh, thank you, Mike. I'm glad you got that notification. Oh, that's good. At least I know that that's working. That's good. Yeah, in regards to that notification, in case you don't have that bell clicked to ring, make sure you ring that bell so that you're notified as to when the Daily Dose of Disney and all our other videos go live. So thank you so much. I'd appreciate that. If you haven't yet subscribed, please subscribe to Pepper Tree Villa. So on this day, Ray Watson and Phil Hawley of Walt Disney Productions actually held an interview today. That interview was with Michael Eisner. Hey, Walt, thanks for being here. Michael Eisner, currently at the time he was with Paramount Pictures, but they interviewed him for the job of CEO at Walt Disney Productions. He wasn't offered the position yet at that time. However, the very next day, on September 12th of 1984, Michael Eisner, hi Trix, Michael Eisner resigned from Paramount the following day. I guess he liked his chance of being the CEO at Walt Disney Productions, and soon after that, they named it the Walt Disney Company to feel more encompassing for all of what was going on, because they weren't just a production company, they had a lot more going on at that time. So that was in 1984. And now in 2001, hey, D&G, thanks for being here. Pay attention, everyone. D&G is going to be coming up a little later in the broadcast, and I'll mention that. I'll tell you why. 2001 was a Tuesday, September 11th. And after everything that happened in the morning, the Walt Disney World Resort. Hi, Two Real Geeks. Thanks for being here. I'll be mentioning Two Real Geeks a little later too, so pay attention, everyone. Walt Disney World Resort and the Disneyland Resort in California both closed without incident. All the resort hotels remained open and provided accommodations to guests who were unable to leave due to flights being canceled because of the events of 2001, 9/11. Phone charges were suspended so that guests could reach out to family and let them know that everyone was okay. Hi, Lorena. I didn't see you join. Thank you for being here. Interesting here, This was only the second time that Disneyland had been closed and locked its gates in its, up to that point, 56-year history due to a national tragedy. The only other time was following the assassination of President John F. Kennedy in 1963. And even at that time, Disneyland refused to fly their their town square flag at half-mast. It was a conscious decision so that people they were in a fantasy world at that point. They wanted to continue that illusion of fantasy on Main Street when you walk through the gates in November of 1963. So while the rest of the country was mourning, town square flag at Disneyland continued to fly high rather than at half staff. That was in 1963. Also, at Walt Disney World, cast members in all 4 parks were instructed to form human chains. They held hands to form a wall and gently, without touching the guests, walk toward the hub of each park. So they started in the far corners of each park and what they did was they inched people out of the park without touching them, all toward the hub, and then eventually down Main Street to get them out of the parks. And they did that in all the different parks, so down Hollywood Boulevard and the studios and Epcot, all the way through down into Future World, so they got everyone out safely. Interesting thing, everyone was very calm about it. Everyone understood why it was happening. So it took them less than 30 minutes to evacuate those parks in Florida. Now, Disneyland did not have to evacuate the parks because it had not yet opened for the day in 2001. So only Florida's parks had to be evacuated. And of course, all 4 parks were open at that time. At the Disneyland Resort, they had food and beverage stations in the hotels and things that remained open at no charge for guests who were staying on property. AMC Theaters in downtown Disney in Anaheim also showed free Disney films for stranded resort guests. And like I said, due to the time difference, the California theme parks had not yet opened, so they weren't able to get anyone in. So, also, Disney stores all over the country, I guess, closed as well for that day. And the Broadway shows that they had on the road, as well as on Broadway, all closed for that day, out of respect. Michael Eisner, who was the CEO at the time, in 2001, released a statement that said, statement to cast members, and explains the closings. And he ended that message with, finally, let me say our company around the world will continue to operate in this sometimes violent world in which we live, offering products that reach to the higher and more positive side of the human equation. Very profound words for the Disney company to come out with that on that day and really reassure their cast members that everything was going to be fine and that they were going to continue. In 2002, this was a year after, Disney's 3 Broadway musicals canceled the performances that day in honor of the attacks from 9/11 the year before. And one last thing that I have here in history, this one affects me personally because I just love Christmas so much. I'll mention a little bit about Christmas a little later too. On this day in 2015, the Walt Disney Company announced that at Disney's Hollywood Studios, that this would be the last year that the Osborne Family Spectacle of Lights would be showing. It would be coming to an end of its over 20-year run at the studios. They did that because the back lot was being torn down and repurposed, and of course, now we have Toy Story Land and Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. And by the way, if you've not seen it yet, Two Real Geeks just posted a video on their experience at Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. They did a great job with it. Danny, very good job on that video. I really enjoyed it. Doug and I had a good time with it. So they announced that to get people time so that they could see it for the last time. It ran from November 6th through January 3rd into 2016. So that was the last time the Osborne Spectacle of Lights ran. I mentioned Christmas also because Peppertreeville is going to be doing, we're going to be doing a live stream on Saturday. We're going to be starting our tree decorations. Hi, Noah. Thank you for being here. Okay, everyone. For tonight's schedule on the Disney YouTube network, D&G Explorers at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. They're going to be doing their regular chat tonight, and it's going to be a Disney chat tonight with This Life of Ours. So don't miss that one. You're going to have a lot of fun with them. Derek and Gregory are always very amusing. They make us laugh at PTV all the time. We're very fortunate that we're able to get together with them occasionally, and we just have a lot of fun. So, Pam's fam, thank you so much. I'm looking forward to the stream as well. I can't wait to start showing you our Christmas decor, how we're going to string lights on Christmas trees and things. Also tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, This and That, the This and That crew will be doing their show. We'll be talking about the best pavilions at Epcot. And also for tonight, also at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, we have a new show coming from two channels that are getting together. That's going to be the Two Real Geeks and Miguel, the annual pass holder. They're going to get together and they're starting a show called Theme Park Fix. His advertising says, get ready for a fun ride starting tonight as Miguel and Danny take over the controls and talk theme parks. Two Real Geeks and Miguel, the annual pass holder, start their new show tonight and can't wait to have you all there with them. So they're going to be doing a show talking about theme parks, not just Disney, but all theme parks in general. So you'll get a fix on Cedar Fair, on Six Flags, Disney too as well, but all the theme parks that they explore together. Miguel has had a lot of experience going to different parks around the country, and Danny and Jess have done that too, and Miguel and Danny are going to be talking about their theme parks on a weekly show now. So this works best for Miguel's schedule. So they're doing a show tonight, starting at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. Two Real Geeks, Theme Park Fix. That's it for what I have on my plate tonight. Don't forget, Ben is going to be releasing a video tomorrow morning, Life with Ben. It's going to be part 2 of Eating at Disneyland. You're not going to want to miss that. Last week, if you have not yet seen it, make sure you catch part 1. Ben was really amusing with what he did. Had a lot of fun with that. And I'm sure it's going to be just as much a fun ride. He's just putting on the final details on that video, and it will be released tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific. So that's going to be tomorrow morning on PTV. And of course, I'll be back tomorrow with another edition of your Daily Dose of Disney. Everyone, thank you so much for spending this part of your day with me. I really appreciate spending this time with my villagers. I always have fun with it. And as always, everyone, go out, have a magical evening, and have a great, big, beautiful tomorrow. Bye, everyone.